All right, I want to talk a little bit about the folding the back of the Rav4 flat. Now, this is a hybrid, and as I'm sure you all know, when you fold the seats forward, there's an angle to this back portion because of the thickness of this area right here and this area right here hitting the seat. Okay, and so overall it creates kind of a slope, which you can see there. Maybe you can see it better if I push this one forward. I think you can see it pretty well there. It's enough of a slope that it's uncomfortable. So I was thinking, I want to go car camping. I actually slept in it like this already, and it was okay, but it'd be better if it was flatter. So, let's think about this a little bit. So I was taking initially I thought I could remove some of the stuffing from these, but I see that that's not going to work. And honestly, I've been thinking about buying a second set of seats just for car camping that I could modify. But I realized this bottom seat comes out. There's two pressure points here and here that you've got to pull up on. I already did that. And this thing comes out. And there's, should have got a tripod. This thing comes out. Obviously, that is the hybrid battery right there that you don't want to get wet or anything like that. Now, here is I think this is the hook right back here that the seat kind of hooks onto. So there's two little hooks on the back. You got to get it under there and hook it on. But basically, there's four of these U-bolts. Over here, there's another one, and then there's another one. And then another thing I noticed is that these, obviously, if I had unplugged the battery, I could unplug the seat belts, but these are just held in by a little piece of cord, basically. And if they were unplugged, they could probably be tucked back underneath there, possibly, or just removed totally, because it's just a question of taking the sensor off, and I would maybe even just cut this and remove those. So what I'm thinking is getting a 3/4 inch piece of ply and making the same shape as the seat, okay? And then figuring out a way to kind of get the ply so it's most of the weight is bearing here, and I would use Velcro tape with the soft side and the rough side that sticks on, and just run some of it through here and then put some of it on the other side of the wood, and then have it extend back so that it's using these 4 points to anchor it somehow. So that would be something to figure out. Maybe running a piece of wood through here that could, then come back and rest on. Because then when this comes forward, there's clearance right there. That's okay if there was a little something there. Because if I drop the seat now, you're going to see why it does drop basically flat now. Once I get that bottom seat out. Look at the difference. There's just the slightest little bit that's raised up there. I mean, I think it's probably 1.5 inches now. Before it was 3 or 4 inches difference. And that easily could be compensated with a blanket just in this back area or something or other. But it's a lot easier to deal with. Look at the difference. I mean, that's basically flat. And so you could have a piece of wood here covering this, and then have a hinge on the wood, a piano hinge, so a piece folds in, and then at night when you want to sleep, you could flip it out to cover this little area here. And then you could put like a pillow or something like that, so that if you want more bed space, you have that extra little bit of wood coming out here, and then just fill up something in here. Or you could do like a lot of people do and put a cooler or whatever. But I wanted to share that. I think that's what I'm going to do for my road trips. And then when I come home, it's super easy. This is just like Velcroed, the piece of wood. You can just lift it off and come back over here and pop the seat back in. And theoretically, if you had to, if you left the buckles in there, you know, you could put like a some sort of removable cushion or something. Somebody could ride back there. The dog could ride back there. I'd put blankets back there or whatever, so it would be a bit softer. But you could still have passengers in the vehicle. I think it's less unsafe to have this as a piece of wood if you're in a car accident versus like this. This you want to keep. But this, I think it probably wouldn't make much of a difference in a car accident or something like that, as long as the person's buckled in and whatnot. The other cool thing I noticed is that, I don't know if anybody's noticed this, but the tracks for the two front seats the bolts are, basically you can flip the seat around so that you can have the front passenger seat facing backwards if you want to do like a camper setup. And it's really easy to do because all you have to do is undo 4 bolts. So you could literally do it at camp, flip the seat around and have it more like, I don't know, like a van. And then when you're getting ready to break camp, you could hypothetically flip the seat back around if you had a passenger there. So just some things I've been thinking about.